It's time now for the award-winning #1 local talk show in Northeast Pennsylvania, The Sam Lesante Show. Now here's your host, Sam Lesante.
Well, folks, I'm back here at Schuylkill Chamber of Commerce with my good friend Bob Carl, who is the president and CEO of the Schuylkill Chamber. It's going to be a good news show for you today. We're trying to be positive. We're trying to show off the people that are surviving and doing great things. I got 4 great guests. But before I wanted to do that, I want to talk to you, Bob. Once again, thanks for inviting us down here.
Thanks. It's always great to have you here.
We got a series going here, Robert.
We do, okay. and I enjoy it, so thank you.
A lot of information that people don't know what's going on. Okay, first of all, you just recently got a nice appointment from the President of the United States. What?
Well, it's a great honor, and I give a lot of the credit to Congressman Muser. He put my name before the President, and the President has selected me to be a member of the President's Export Council. So obviously that would be dealing with all matters of export, businesses that would be exporting to other countries, and this had been going on from a vetting standpoint for a long time, and then we heard right after the election. So I'm waiting on instructions now, but it's an actual, considered an actual administrative position as a member of President Trump's Export Council, and I'm greatly honored and look forward to being able to take information regarding our businesses, export opportunities and problems therein, or things that they would like to see changed, to present it to the President and his administration.
How does that benefit Schuylkill County and all the counties in this area?
Well, you know, we've talked about so many times how so many times the intention of government is good, but it could get bogged down over many presidencies and many different administrations. And my hope would be that if our local businesses, manufacturers present exporting situations that they would like to see either improved or regulations reduced or whatever, that I would be a conduit to have their voice inside the administration with the President of the United States to address those issues. So I consider this only very good for the county if I can be useful, and Congressman Muser and I have discussed bringing our exporters in and getting some ideas from them so that I can be that conduit to the President of the United States.
Well, it's certainly an honor, and it goes to a person that knows what's going on. I wish you the best.
I appreciate that.
It's a good opportunity for us to continue on the progress that we're making here. And speaking of progress, Schuylkill County Chamber, okay, one time we had a show where we broke down all the things that the Chamber does, but one of the things that Bob does, and this Chamber, Schuylkill Chamber does, is promote the people who are supporting them. And today, Bob, we have some people coming on. Who are the people coming on today that we're going to talk about how they're coping with the COVID thing? And they're positive, which is important. They're active and they're positive.
Well, we selected people from different areas of the county and different industry segments. And I know you're going to interview them, so I'm not going to steal any of that thunder. But the point is we want to highlight that from the very beginning of this pandemic, we appreciated, as a Schuylkill Chamber of Commerce, 730 members strong, businesses and nonprofits, that we need to do everything in our power, and you've assisted us in doing that, to help these people survive in this very difficult pandemic. And they've done a great job, but they need help. They need continual help. They need programs and services, and we've been that voice for them from the very beginning, trying to get information to them so that real time they know exactly what's happening. If the governor makes an announcement, has a press conference, they're going to know within minutes what that was about. And that way they can react very quickly, stay on their feet. It's not gotten any easier. We know that. We're back into an increase in COVID-19 as the pandemic rages again at probably the worst time of the year. And at the end, we just need to keep working. And these people are survivors. They're positive, and they want to find that silver lining. In other words, turn lemons into lemonade.
Well, it's interesting because, you know, we're talking about the increase in pandemic, and of course you want to see everything hopefully calm down, hopefully with the vaccines. But with the tripling and quadrupling of the testing is bringing more and more people who have the,
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like checking for colds. You have a cold, you have So, I mean, I think there's a situation here.
Well, there is, and every day, whether it's local news or national news, we're finding out more. Just last night, again, I saw how many false positives are occurring on the testing, and or where you might have a trace, even maybe were infected in the past, never knew it, and it's still in your system, and some of those are turning into positive cases, which is raising the level of alarm. No matter what, you and I have talked many times. There was a point in time until we got a handle on the knowledge of this coronavirus that shutdown made sense in those first couple of weeks. But I have said ever since then, it is time for businesses and nonprofits to be able to do good management and control their own destiny, because at the end of the day, Sam, as we know, they, better than anybody, appreciate their customer and their client base, and they are compelled to do the right thing, or they know themselves they'll lose their customers and clients. So I say put it in the business's hands, assuming everyone is using the safe CDC guidelines, the masks, the social distancing. Put it in the business and nonprofits' hands, and they will do the right thing.
What better way for them, for a small business owner who has more control on what their business is versus the government telling you what to do?
Exactly. There's points and times that the government serves a very valuable purpose in services that we need, such as roads, bridges, transportation. But when we're talking about running businesses, you have one, I had one at one point in my life. Who knows better how to run that business than the business owner themselves?
Bob, Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas to you, my friend.
You and your family. Thanks for, we're going to continue on with a lot of information. Folks, you know, we talk about the chamber, all chambers. There is so much that the Chamber of Commerce has to offer in many areas. And what you want to do is, if you are an individual person who has a business or anything, you want to give them a call and say, look, what do you have to offer? Because the investment you make, you get way back. Bob mentioned something, and I had a conversation with former Congressman Lou Barletta. We're running that show as well, about control, my friends. Is government controlling us, telling us what to do, how to do it, where to go, closing churches, opening churches, et cetera, et cetera? When do we take control of our own lives? Maybe we are. But it's something that we should be very much concerned about. But I did tell you, it's a good news show today. We're going to start coming back. We'll talk about people who you know in this area who are doing great things. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the Sam Lesante Show, folks. Remember, 24/7, SSPTV.com. All of our shows are there. These shows that we're doing now, and all of our shows, you go to our YouTube channel. For those of you who do not have cable, and you should have cable, but anyway, if you don't, our YouTube channel has all of these programs. Comcast 190, we're here every night, 7 to 11 p.m. on Comcast 190. And of course, Hazelton 51313 and Wilkes-Barre, Kingston Channel 92. I said that it's going to be a positive show, and it is a positive show. I'm here at the Schuylkill Chamber of Commerce. We just heard from the Chief Executive Officer, Bob Carl. And now we want to bring some people in who are just as positive. Lisa Gillespie is the Executive Director for Majestic Theatre. That's a great theater.
Thank you.
Yeah, there is, I know when Mayor Riley was here, we've been here since 1999 doing local shows. But tell me about the theater. Tell me about what you guys are doing that's exciting.
Well, not a lot of anything recently, but we just finished 2 different productions that were supposed to be live, but unfortunately we've had to record them. So we did a production of a short story called Elf on the Shelf Must Die, and we just are finishing up A Christmas Carol. So they were supposed to be live performances, but unfortunately we weren't able to do that. So we recorded them, and they will be available for streaming. So you can buy a ticket and watch the show online.
So even though you can't bring people in, you are still doing things to keep active.
We are doing whatever we can think of. Yeah. We have a virtual Holly Trail that we're starting this weekend. For the past several years, we've done live Holly Trails where people go into other people's homes to see their Christmas decorations. We couldn't do that this year, but we didn't want to lose the event. So we went in and videotaped and took pictures of these beautiful homes, their beautiful decorations. So it's going to be about an hour and a half long. And you get to tour 5 homes and 2 of our local nonprofits.
Yeah. And how do people get to see this? I mean,
So our ticketing site is called showtixforyou.com. And they just go to the site, click on Majestic Theatre. Showtixforyou.com.
Okay,
yeah.
is that Y-O-U or just the letter?
Just the letter U.
foryou.com.
Yep,
All right.
.com.
And they could get, because I know they're beautiful, okay? The theater, when someone thinks of Majestic Theatre, you do a lot of things there. So it's just not only just going and see a theater. Yep. Tell our viewers just exactly the number of things that you do that are available to them.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So we do free movies, general.
Yeah, no. Not half an hour.
No, I know. We've got just a couple minutes. Yeah. So we usually do a free movie every month, and that's sponsored by the Pottsville Recreation Commission. And we do other movies. We rent the theater to local organizations or private parties. We do concerts. We were supposed to have Ed Asner come this year.
Oh, boy.
He does a one-man show, so he's rescheduled for April of next year.
He's got to be early 90s.
He is 90.
Yeah,
yeah,
and he's
he
doing
turned
well.
90 this year. Yeah, he does a one-man show called Me and My Prostate. So
yes, yeah.
So we're going to bring that in.
But Lisa, the thing is, the theater does so much. I mean, if we have a business meeting there, if you want to have activity.
Seminars, the Republican has
perfect
done seminars
for
here. Yep.
Perfect.
We're doing actually an exposition with the Boxing Commission.
Yes.
And the NAACP. They're going to do an exhibit at the
theater. So
theater.
if someone wants to contact you, give them the address, or what would they do?
MajesticTheatre.net is the website. The email address is majestictheatrepottsville@gmail.com, and the phone number is 570-628-2833, and that will ring directly to me.
Good. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having
Stay
us.
positive.
Always.
Okay.
Always.
I'm telling you, folks, surround yourself with positive people. You don't need to talk to people who are negative all the time. We are depressed the way it is. We need positive people. That's why I'm here with Bob Carl and his crew. They're always positive. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the Sam Lesante Show. Remember, 24/7, ssptv.com. 21 local neighborhood programs, folks, and I want to thank all of you for tuning us in. We're here at the Schuylkill Chamber of Commerce, and my good friend Bob Carl, who is the CEO and president, invited us down here to talk to people who are aggressive, exciting, and positive. And one of those people right here, Emily Gordon. She is the owner and founder of the Bridal Studio. Emily, you have a little background, though, right? Before we talk, tell our viewers about your background.
So I went to Penn State University at University Park. I graduated in 2012 with a media studies degree and a double minor in film and TV production. From there, I worked at WGAL News 8 in Lancaster, and then I went to ABC 27 in Harrisburg.
Yes, good stations.
Yes, very good stations. So I did sports, and then I went into just being a general assignment reporter, night side, and then I also produced.
So you told me you were doing some things in California too.
Yep. So we did promotional photo shoots for Simone Biles, products like GK. She also was a Nike sponsor and things like that. So very exciting stuff.
So Emily, you bring a lot of experience. Okay, so tell me how you got involved with the Bridal Studio.
So I was a little odd as a child. I always sketched. I did. I always sketched bridal gowns. Even in middle school, my mom would open up my notebook and she would find sketches. And I just decided to kind of go for it. I turned 30 years old and figured now's the time to do it, now or never. So I just went all in. I was working full time when I opened as well. So then in the last year, I was able to just be at my store full time, and it's been wonderful.
I interviewed Mr. Herr, who is the brewery place here, and I talked about entrepreneurism and young people get involved in it. And I applaud you for doing that because I started when I was 18 years old. But I think that especially in these times, how do you look at these times as to your positiveness and what you're doing to grow with your bridal studio?
So what I'm really trying to do is promote shopping locally. I really want people to realize that Schuylkill County has a whole lot to offer, whether big or small, and I want them to shop at those local places and get to know the owners and know who they're supporting. One of the biggest things for me as a bridal shop owner is having a body positivity image for women. They could be any size, any shape, and come into my store and be able to get a custom gown, get any color they want, any size they want, any gown that they want in general. So that's very important to me.
It's always important. I know my wife was in the business, and she would give a lot of advice because sometimes people are confused.
Yes.
And I think that's the most important thing with the knowledge that you have. So if someone needs some advice, guidance as to what to do, you're there for them. Correct?
Yes, 100%. Yep, I send them an interview beforehand so I know what they're after, what they're looking for, their budget, what they're into, and then I kind of guide them in the right direction to their gown.
And folks, I want you to understand something. They're not in it just for the money part of it. They're in it to be of service. You don't look at a person and say, oh, I'll sell her a $3,000 gown or a $5,000. You look at what is needed and meet their needs. I'm not trying to say,
Yep.
I'm assuming you would do that based on the reputation that I heard about you.
Yes,
You know?
very true.
You're able to work with a person's budget, correct?
Yes, yep.
Yeah. Some of the exciting things that you have at your place, and hopefully someday we'll be coming down there and do a nice show there. Tell them some of the exciting things that you have at your place.
Yep, so I have Justin Alexander, which is the designer. I have 5 collections from him, and those collections are very specific to this area. No one else in Schuylkill County can carry them, so that's very special to me. They range from modern, boho, they call it now, to traditional gowns, so you can come in and find anything kind of up and down the spectrum of style and fit that they're after.
You know, I guess it must be fun, though, when you're talking to brides or getting ready. You know, I once in a while I'll watch Yes for the Dress. What is it called? Say Yes to the Dress. So I can see Emily saying, say yes to the dress. Say yes to the dress.
I always ask them, are
Yeah.
you saying yes to the dress?
Yeah.
It's part of the culture now.
But you have to look at the personality. You have to look at the the budgets, etc. And I think that's where you shine in bringing all that experience
Thank
to them.
you.
Okay. So you're one of many people, the Schuylkill Chamber of Commerce, that are positive, working ahead. We're not burying our heads in the sand. We know we have a concern or a problem, but you're keeping your business safe, correct?
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, so you adhere to all of the guidelines that are necessary. Well,
Yes.
Emily, tell me how people can get in touch with you.
So they can follow me on Instagram. That's where a lot of the brides are now. It's at the Bridal Studio PA. Or you can follow me on Facebook as well, or you can go to my website, www.bridalstudiosbyeg.com.
Okay, and your phone number.
570-691-7121.
Okay. Emily, thank you very
Thank
much.
you so much.
Okay, so Emily Gordon, folks, she's the owner and founder of the Bridal Studio. Check it out. They're here to help you, and guess what? They're positive. Remember, I can't say this enough. Do not be around negative people. You don't need that discouragement. What you need is positive people, like Emily, Bob Carl, and Lisa, and we're going to hear from Amy Lafko right after this break. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Sam Lesante Show, folks. I'm here at Schuylkill Chamber of Commerce. My good friend Bob Carl invited us here to talk to positive people. And I can't emphasize enough, surround yourself with positive people. One positive person here, very positive, Amy Lafko, who is the founder and CEO of Karen Consulting Solutions. So Amy, tell me about yourself and tell me about Karen's Consulting Solutions.
Absolutely. So my name's Amy Lafko. I'm from the county, and 3 years ago I started this company. So interesting times to be going through, but my goal is to help people. And businesses need to see that skilled leadership is the way that they're going to be successful. So my motto is simply grow your people to grow your business. And I help companies. I know, and it's true. I think if you are willing to take the time to grow your people, you're going to grow your business. And through this whole experience with the pandemic, I've seen it even more. I have some of my clients who I've been working with for a while, and we've either redesigned their leadership team, we've provided training for how to have really healthy conflict or how to serve your team better. Those companies are doing really well. I have clients adding locations or doing expansions, and not necessarily in industries where it's like they're the grocery store.
Yeah.
But it's all about how you treat your people.
Who would need you?
I work with all different kinds of industries. I'm a physical therapist by background, so lots of healthcare. But if you understand that you want to grow your business, if you understand that your people matter, then I'm the person you want to work with, because I'm going to help you make sure that you're doing that really well. I give you the leadership skills, the communication skills, and I help you design a business that puts your people first.
Okay, so with the strains that are in businesses right now, particularly the fact that the government is trying to control us, your expertise would be a plus and a positive for businesses that you have enough to do to run a business than to grow. Do you need a certain amount of employees in your business, or could you have 1 employee, 2 employees, 4? I mean, how many people do you need?
I work with companies as small as 3,
Yes.
and I work with companies that have over 900 or 1,000.
Give me an example of, you have to mention the company. Give me an example of a person who had a concern, a problem, what you did to resolve it.
Absolutely. So I had a client who, when they were looking at shutdown, and they were going to have to close their practice for a little while. It was a healthcare practice. Okay. And they said, what do we do? How do I lay people off? I don't know how to have this conversation. What's the strategy for when we do bring them back? And we worked through a communication strategy and a communication plan. 100% of their people came back. Even the ones who my other clients would say, well, at $13 an hour, it's cheaper for them or it's better for them to be at home. They had everyone come back. Everybody wanted to come back because they knew how committed they were as owners. Mm-hmm. And that's how I'm helping people right now.
Mm-hmm. What are some of the things right now that you're working on, or that would be, especially with this pandemic, and there's a lot of fear out there, and I keep telling people to be positive, and they say it's hard to be positive when you hear all this news, negative news. I don't know how much of that is factual anymore. I'm in the media business, and I'm discouraged with the Main Street media, what they're doing, and I'm just totally confused. But to be positive,
Yeah.
what should we do?
So one of the most important things is to recognize we can't be happy and excited all the time.
Yes. We can't?
We can't. I don't know. I mean, it's
Bob
true.
Carroll is.
Oh, well, that's a different story.
Yeah.
But I tell you, I encourage my my business owners and my leaders to talk to their team. Where are you today? Is today a day where you're feeling like we can do this, or is it a day where you're in the valley of despair? And then you work around that so that you can move everybody into that we can do this phase. And part of the way you do that is with alignment. So right now, a lot of my clients are actually working on what are the non-negotiables of our business our size? What are the challenges we should be focused on? And it's about getting aligned. January 1 isn't going to be, a whole new world, and a vaccine isn't going to save us in a day. So we have to really be aligned as a team so that we can actually survive and thrive in this. And when you said about growth, not all my clients are adding new locations, but they're not going backwards. Yeah. They've either added revenue, or they've grown and added a new service, or they're doing something that's moving forward instead of backwards.
Yeah, it's funny. A person said to me, "You're a lucky guy, Sammy." And I said, it's a funny thing. The harder I work, the luckier I become.
It's so true.
Many years ago, I had the pleasure of doing motivational speaking. Mm-hmm. And believe me, I would feel like I'm stealing money, because I used to get so excited doing the motivational speakers, okay? And the thing said, what do I have to be motivated for? Well, believe it or not, as you do, when you go out and you talk to people and you make them feel good about themselves, and that's what you do.
Yeah.
And it's priceless sometimes. Okay, I mean, I know what your rates are, but I'm sure they're very reasonable. The point is, you make people feel good so they want to do things.
Absolutely. If you put your team together, you can do anything. If you are on the same page with your team, if you know how to communicate with them, you can weather any storm.
So how do I get Amy Lafco to come and work with me? Give the viewers the address, or email, or phone number, or whatever.
Yep. So my website is CairnCS, which is CAIRNCS.com. You've got all my information there. You can call me 570-617-7836. We'll set up a discovery call. We'll figure out what your needs are, and I'll help you grow your business, because I'll help you grow your people.
Now, Bob was telling me you do seminars too, right? Mm-hmm. And you've done a number of them here for the chamber.
Yes.
Okay?
Yep.
And that's really good.
It is. I mean, the one I'm going to be doing next is a productive conflict one, because people are afraid of conflict, and they think you can't be happy if you have conflict.
Yeah.
you can do it right.
You know, it's funny, Amy. All my life, I've tried to surround myself with people who are positive, but sometimes you get that one person that
Yep.
just is like an anchor on your back, and you just say, "How do I get rid of this person?" It's always negative. There's nothing positive this person can say. Okay, you with your training and going in there is able to give us an opportunity of doing that, and I applaud you for that.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah.
thanks for coming on the show.
Absolutely.
Folks, Amy Lafko, founder and CEO of Karen's Consulting Solutions. Phone number's on the screen. It's worth a call. It's worth to say, look, Amy, I have a concern. Give her a call. She'd be more than happy to help you. We'll be back right after this with Mr. Bob Carl. All right, welcome back to the Sam Lesante Show, folks. Bob Carl, thanks for inviting us here. Interesting people, right?
Sam, we're the best of the best, 730 members strong, and you saw 3 of them today, and I would tell you that that's the quality and the commitment that our business community has. Difficult times, but people that are up to the challenge and want to do the very best, not only for their own business, but to be a major of importance in the community. You know, I always say, Sam, we're better together than we are individually, and I think these people prove it every day.
And Bob, did you notice something about the 3 of them? Enthusiastic, uplifting, positive. Their businesses must survive and must be doing great because they are so full of energy.
Yeah, well, you know, we know in the world we live in today, even under the best circumstances, positive attitudes get it done. And we have to keep focusing on, we will come out of this pandemic and we'll be better for it, even though we didn't need or want to go through it. But these individuals that you had today and many, many more that I can bring to you in the future show that commitment. And that's what makes the Schuylkill Chamber of Commerce, our 730 members, our business and our nonprofit community so great.
Merry Christmas once again.
Merry Christmas, Sam.
And we'll be back. Bob Carl wants his own series, folks. He wants the Bob Carl series. He ain't going to get it. He'll be with Sam Lesante doing the series. Anyway, folks, any information you need, 24/7, ssbtv.com. Our YouTube channel, get all this information, important stuff. Stay healthy. We'll see you next time.